Hi everybody, welcome to Scotch Kitchen. I'm sorry, we're having problems with the connection with Facebook live video, so I'm not able to do this live. So I've just decided to record this because anyway, I promised everybody that I'm going to do a live video. I'm very sorry about that. I've tried for the past like half an hour to find out what the issue is, but I cannot find out completely, which I'll deal with that later. So anyway, let's get on with it and start preparing. So I have some pork steak here, which I'm going to use my griddle to actually grill it, And with the pork, I have some pasta. That's what we're going to have it with, some tagliatelle pasta, as you can see there. We're going to have that, and then I have chopped some fresh tomatoes, as you can see, and I have some red onions, and I have some dried sausage, spicy sausage. I'm going to do a tomato sauce, but I'm also going to make some spinach, baby spinach here. So we're going to cook that really quick. So if we can just go ahead. So for now, the first thing I'm going to start doing, I'm going to first season our meat. Then after seasoning our meat, when our meat is actually cooking, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start preparing our tomatoes because I want to grill them. So they're going to go in the grill. So before I continue, I'll just show you the spices that I'm using today. So I have a bit of variety of spices. So I have some garlic, I have some garlic here. And then I have some mixed spices. I have some spicy paprika. I have some oregano. I have some rosemary. Yeah. I have some steak seasoning, because we are having the pork is steak, so we're going to have those seasoning there. I have a little bit of light soy sauce. Yeah, so that one is just going to be over our meat, just to give it a little bit of color. Okay, for the oils that I'm using I have some sesame oil, and I have some blend of olive oil and avocado oil. Those are the two oils I'm going to use. I have some leftovers tomatoes. I'm going to do a quick tomato sauce. I have some mature cheddar cheese, which that is also I'm just going to grate it a little bit, and then it's going to go on our pasta. So guys, let's just go ahead and get on with it, and let's start. I'm going to start by seasoning my steak, and then from there we're going to go ahead and prepare our tomatoes. So if you just bear with me, I'm just opening this because I don't want to keep on touching them, because my hands are really going to get really dirty in a second. Let me just wash my hands really quick there, and then we can get ahead and continue. So I'm going to start with my light soy sauce. Going to just have a sprinkle of it on each of my steak. That's going to be on the side because I've used it. And then I'm going to just lightly sprinkle some salt, so just some table salt, just a little. And you've realized with the salt, I'm not going to sprinkle both sides, I'm just going to sprinkle that one side. And same with my soy sauce, because I'm going to turn my steak around in a second, so that the soy sauce is going to go on the board, and I can share that with the rest of it. So you need just a sprinkle of your paprika, sprinkle of oregano. You need a sprinkle of your steak spices, because this is steak. A little sprinkle of your garlic. Rosemary adds a bit of essence onto it, just a little bit of the rosemary. And then last but not least, we're going to go with our mixed spices. We're making this really nice and spicy. For the oil, I'm using my sesame oil, so just be generous with that, because remember, I'm going to use that on both sides of that. I'm going to next take my paprika and pour it a little bit on my board, and also sprinkle it on, because what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do that with the steak as well, I'm just going to mix this up, so spice it up, and then I'm going to turn it around to do the other side as well. So I'm not going to do again the same sprinkling the way I've done with this one side. I'm just going to leave that side to marinate with what is already on the board. So that's why I said I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit of that onto the board, and basically wrap it around the board. do exactly the same for the rest of them. Yeah, just make sure it is really nicely marinated both sides. You don't need to use so much of this marinade, because again, as you've seen, it's a lot of different kind of spices, but they're gonna be really amazing. You're going to taste the juiciness of all of them. Then remember, we have to use oil because we don't want our steak to be really dry. We want our steak to be nice and moist when it is actually done. Just bear with me, I'm washing my hands really quick again. And then, so I'm going to do two things now. So our steak is nicely seasoned, as you can see there. Yeah, amazing. So that is going to go on one side for a second. Then next, I am going to try and turn on my hob. There you go. I'm going to get my griddle pan going. My oven is already preheated at about 180 degrees, so you can go ahead and do that. Always preheat your oven before you actually start cooking on it, because it makes you start cooking at the right temperature. If you put it, like if I put it to 0, you're not actually starting to cook it at the right temperature. So always preheat your oven before you actually put in the food inside there. Okay? So that's a quick wash again because I've just touched up that. So onto my pan, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the blended olive oil and avocado. Then I'm going to take my tomatoes one at a time, so my fresh tomatoes, and I'm just going to like try and dip them a little bit on this lovely oil, because I want them to be really nice and sort of grilled, but they're going to be baked, so they're going to be really nice inside. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of oil at the top as well. Yeah, so I just want the skin to be a little bit firm as well and crispy to eat. So there we go. So the next thing I'm going to do, which I didn't remove there, I'm going to get some black pepper. So I need a little bit sprinkle of my black pepper onto my lovely tomatoes. Yeah, again, it depends if everybody has black pepper there. If some people don't have, you don't have to sprinkle the black pepper. A bit of garlic, and then I'm going to go with a little bit of salt. And last but not least, I'm going to get that oil again, and I'm going to sprinkle just lovely on top. And then that is going into the oven until the dinner is actually done. So at 180 degrees, and just let it cook there slowly. So when that is cooking slowly, you get your sausage, and I'm just going to chop it in small lovely pieces there. We're going to use this when we are cooking our lovely onions. Yeah, and the good thing about this dried sausage, you can eat them the way they are. Amazing. Okay, so I'm going to use my rapeseed, rapeseed oil. Sprinkle of it onto my griddle. Yeah. Next, I'm going to get my steak in a second. Before I do that, let's get some hot water running for our pasta. Let's get some hot water. Just right on this corner where it's not going to be disturbing anybody. There you go. Okay. So our griddle pan is there, really nice and warm. Our hot water is also there. So with the hot water, what I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of this avocado and olive oil inside my water, and a bit of sprinkle of salt. So this water, when it starts bubbling, just start bubbling up a little bit. That's when I'm going to go ahead and put our pasta. So that's there, it's ready. So let's do our steak. Let's concentrate on this one now. So I'll put my bowl there, and I'm going to start preparing my steak. So one at a time, it's going to go in here. I normally tend to try and see if I can just cook all the 4 in one go. All the 4 in one go to make it easier for me not to repeat it over and over again. And my griddle pan is big enough to actually accommodate the 4 pieces of the essence. You can smell the essence. It's really, really amazing. And then another thing you can do to just emphasize the essence of that, if you have some whole garlic, I'll do that and show you guys. So if you have whole garlic, you just need about half of it. Don't remove the skin. Just get your whole garlics like that. Don't remove the skin and just crush them on your chopping board. Crush them so that they can be really, really nice and crushed. And just add them inside there in your griddle pan. And they actually help, they add the essence onto that, which is really, really amazing. Okay? I remove this now out of here. And I need a plate to just hold this up here. Yeah? So our steak is cooking there, our hot water is getting ready there. So the next thing I'm going to do really, really quick, here I am going to go ahead and start preparing our spinach. So if you just bear with me, there you go. So we're going to cook all this really, really quick. Again, it's midweek, so we need to cook everything really, really quick and get on with it. So the spinach is going to cook so super quick, which is really, really good because that's what we want. Don't forget about your steak, because again, pork cooks really, really quick. Turn the heat down a little so because we want it to cook all through. So on here, when it has dried up, you need a bit of butter. So I'm going to get some butter. This is for our spinach. So I'm going to add some butter here, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the spinach and start cooking the spinach. I want the pan to be really, really hot. I'm turning my steak, and with your garlic you can now just squeeze them a little bit and the skin is actually going to come off, which is good. Okay, back to my pan here. Okay, get your butter. Need a scoop of butter in there. Need a scoop of butter in there. So let the butter melt. Let the butter start melting, and then immediately after that, I'm just going to put a little bit of onions. I don't want too much of it because I want to add the onions to our griddle pan so it can cook together with our steak, yeah? So just want the butter to really melt and so it can be really nice and strong, and then I'm going to go ahead and start preparing our spinach. So easy to make this spinach because you don't need so much on it. You just need a little bit of butter, a little bit of onion after the butter has actually melted, and then the next thing you need is your spinach, salt, let it cook for a few minutes and you're good to go, right? Back to our steak when we are still waiting for our butter to melt. I'm gonna turn my steak, or before I turn my steak again, I'm just going to lift this up for you guys to be able to see where we are actually with the steak. As you can see there, the steak is cooking really, really well, which is really nice. It's cooking really amazingly. My pot is really super big there, you can see. That is how it's not having enough space on that corner. So I'm going to turn this last hob on so I can put my water. Can put my water there, and this can be specifically just for the pasta, sorry, for the spinach. Before I put my spinach, almost forgot there, a little bit sprinkle of onion, just a little bit, maybe even half or a quarter of an onion, that goes in there. You don't want that to cook for a long time. And again, we are using butter. And melt really quick. Then go straight with your spinach. Add your spinach there. Just remember, make sure you wash your spinach before you actually cook it, yeah? Always remember that you have to wash your vegetables before you actually cook them. I turned on the fan, I forgot about that. Sorry about that noise. Okay, this is going to cook really, really quick. Then the next thing you do, add a little bit of salt onto your spinach and just let it cook there. Okay, back here, and we want to turn our steak again. Yeah, turn our steak really, really quick. Our spinach is cooking there. Our water is almost starting to have the lovely bubbles, and that's when we're going to go ahead and put in the pasta for the pasta to start while we prepare the rest of the things. Yeah, our tomatoes are cooking inside there really well as well, so everything is actually as we wish it to be. We're not adding our onions yet. That's what we're going to add in a second. For now, we're just making sure our steak actually cooks well. Our spinach cooks well. Remember your lovely garlic that you put inside there. You can try and squeeze it a bit so that the lovely juices for the garlic can be felt on your lovely steak. Yeah? Okay. My water, I'm going to give it about another 2 minutes and then it's going to be good to go. Okay, for my spinach now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start mixing it together. Going to mix that up together. It looks really amazing. I hope you're able to see that. So simple. Don't make it really complicated with your spinach. Again, another thing I normally tend to do, because I don't want my spinach to be really soggy, because you washed it, so it's going to have like loads of soup at the bottom, or stew or sauce, I don't know how you want to call it, at the bottom. I sometimes tend to drain that off. If you wish, you can have it with that. If you wish, you can drain it. I'm going to drain that in a second. But before I do that, I'm just going to turn my steak again. The steak is cooking really well. So, with the steak, now I'm going to go ahead and add my sausages. The dried sausages. I'm just going to sprinkle that in there. And then at the same time, I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and add my onions as well. This is amazing. So I'm going to add my onions there and just make sure they also cook. The good thing about this, they're all cooked, the onions and the sausages are cooking with the lovely juices from the steak that are already formed there. And that's exactly what you want, yeah? Because these onions are going to go really nicely. They're going to go so well with our steak. So just make sure all the lovely juices. Remember the garlic we put there? Just push the garlic towards next to the, how do you call it again, the onions. And just let it cook. Just let it cook slowly. There's no hurry whatsoever about it cooking. The good thing with my steak, some pieces were big and some pieces were small. But again, most of the small pieces are about to actually be ready. So this is the time where I normally just drain off a little bit of that water off my spinach. I just need a little bit of it. I don't need too much of it. And then I've just drained a little bit of that water off. I'm going to put my spinach there for a few more minutes. I'm just making sure all the onions are in there. A few more minutes and my spinach is going to be done. Gonna wash my hands really quick again. And next, I'm going to now start putting my pasta in the water. Just one at a time. Just gently, take your time. All this meal should be done about 45 minutes. You should take about 15 minutes in doing the preparation. 15 minutes doing the preparation, but actual serving, no, actual cooking should take less than half an hour to 45 minutes, because your steak will take a little bit longer. Our spinach is actually done, which is good. So what I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead turn off the hob for the spinach. The spinach is done. I'm going to move my pasta onto where the spinach was, and I'm going to turn off the last hob. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the spinach out of there completely, so you can have enough space here, yeah? Enough space to do a bit of a dance. Make sure your onions are actually really cooking so well. Our steak is doing well. I'm going to bring it closer again for you guys to be able to see. Oh, amazing. Our sausages are also cooking well as well. Everything is just perfect. So far, so good. So far, so good. Oh, amazing. A few more minutes and this is going to be done. So basically, when our pasta is done, most of this food should all be done. So, here's our steak. As you can see the onions on one side, and you can see the steak there. I'll just move my hand a little bit lower for you to be able to see. And everything is cooking so well. You can see the sausages there as well. They're cooking really nicely. Yeah? Let's put that back on. Your food in a bit. So what I'm gonna do like a serving on one plate for you guys to be able to see how you can actually serve this food. That is definitely when our pasta is ready. Our pasta is not ready yet. So, the next thing now I'm going to do, while we wait for our pasta, another minute, and then I am going to rest my steak inside the oven for just a few minutes while we wait for our pasta to get ready. So when my pasta is getting ready, get your cheese. I forgot one thing, one very, very, very important thing, which is our tomato sauce. Get your pan. We're going to do a quick tomato sauce because we don't want to have very dry food, right? We want to have a bit of sauce. So instead of you like maybe having some ketchup or any other different sauce, we're going to just do a quick tomato sauce. And with our tomato sauce, we're going to have some double cream oil to make it really nice and thick. With the spices, you don't need your rosemary. You need your paprika. You need your garlic. You don't need your black pepper. You need a bit of your mixed spice. Everything else can go, and we don't need soy sauce. So these spices can go on the side. We are done with them. This is done. You get some of your sesame oil. Just maybe a teaspoon should be enough. Don't forget our sage. Okay, definitely our steak is definitely done. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to put my steak in the oven to rest for a few minutes. It's really, really hot. Okay, moving my pasta again. It's gonna cook. It's moving it from one hob to the next because I just don't want to get burnt. Yeah? Back here, so you have a little bit of oil. Straight in the oil, just put in your tomato. This is a very super quick sauce. No stress at all. Go with your spices immediately. So you're going to sprinkle of paprika, a sprinkle of garlic, a sprinkle of mixed spices, and your salt. That's it. Then last but not least, we're going to add our double cream. Let that cook for a few minutes. Let it bubble up for a few minutes. And then I've used tin tomatoes, and I've also used tomato paste and mixed those two together because they were leftovers. But again, you can just make any type of sauce you want. If you have any type of bell peppers, it's good. You can add the bell peppers there. I don't want to add any bell peppers there because I want to taste my lovely spinach, and that's why I'm not adding any bell peppers there. So currently now I want to grate some cheese, because I'm going to have a little bit of a sprinkle of cheese on our pasta when it is actually done. And this is just going to go when we are actually serving it. I tend to buy a whole bar of cheese and just use a grater to grate it the way I want, rather than buying grated cheese already. And actually the bar stays longer and fresh compared to if you buy the one that is grated already. Yeah, so I only grate the amount I want to use. So because I'm doing one serving, this should be enough for one serving. Yeah, that should be enough for one serving, because I want to show you guys how actually you can do a serving for this. So I'm going to put that on the side. My plate is ready. It's there. My serving is there. My tomato is cooking really, really nicely. And the good thing about this tomato, you can add some chili as well. So you have like a chili sauce instead of just having any form of meal, yeah? You can have some chili sauce with it instead of having just something really simple. Okay, let's use this. Let me wash it up. I'm using that for my pasta, just making sure that my pasta is almost done. It is actually almost done, as you can see. Yeah? It looks so amazing. So the lovely balls have actually started cooking, and when they start cooking, you can actually separate them, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm actually separating them so that I can have like lovely strips, yeah? A few more minutes of that, and then I can go ahead and can serve that. Then now, when that has started bubbling up, just get your double cream, or you can use single cream, and you just need a splash of that. You don't need too much of it, just a splash of it. It's a little splash to make that sauce really nice and thick. Yeah? You need that sauce really nice and thick. You can see that. It's really nice and thick. Right? Amazing. So, our lovely sauce is there. Don't forget your spinach. Yes, I'm not forgetting my spinach. What I'm going to do, I'm going to really quickly warm up my spinach. No, it's this one. I'm going to bring my spinach, really warm it up really quick, and then I do the serving. Yeah? So when my spinach is actually warming up there, I'm going to get this plate and I'm just going to get my serving, because I'm only doing one serving, so that you guys can be able to see how you actually serve. You will realize I'm not draining away this pasta. I'm not draining that water away. I am doing it on a plate. Yes, I need that juiciness. I need that, how can I call it? I need the pasta to be really not dry. I want it to still be really nice and moist. If I lower this camera a little bit down there, for you to be able to, yes, that's a bit perfect. It's going to be a bit shaky, but we're going to settle down in a second. So I need my pasta to be really nice and moist, and that's why I've just gone straight and picked it up directly from the pan. That should be enough, and then I'm going to return that in there. My tomato sauce is done. That's going to go off. Woo! My tomatoes are done. Pasta is done. Everything is off. As you can see, our tomatoes, guys, they look really nice. Spinach is warming up. So it's time for me to do this quick serving, yeah? So if you just bear with me. Ooh. Going to have my tomato there. I'm going to have a little bit of my spinach there. Just a little bit of it. Yeah? It's up to you. You can have 2 pieces of, how do you call it again? 2 pieces of tomatoes or 1 piece of tomatoes is up to you. Yeah? And then, I'm going to bring out this baby. This is the master of them all. My steak is going to go right there. And my lovely onions are going to go by the steak. And my lovely sausages as well. Going to go right there. And then what am I missing? Woo! I know what's not gone there yet, which is definitely going to go there in a second, is our sauce, our tomato sauce, right? So our tomato sauce looks really amazing, and I need a little bit of a spoon, and put that there, and my tomato sauce, I'm going to, can you see that? I'm going to drizzle it just next to, as you can see it's really nice and thick. Wow, it looks amazing. So, can you see that? It's just a nice thick drizzle of juiciness there. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my cheese and sprinkle my cheese onto my pasta. And now this is another thing I'm going to do. You know that cheese, I want it to slightly melt. So I still want my pasta to be really nice and moist. And what I'm going to do, I'm getting a little bit of that lovely water that is still left onto my pasta. And I'm sprinkling it now onto my cheese. So my cheese is going to like sort of melt off. It looks amazing. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring the camera closer and I'm going to try and turn the camera around for us to be able, because with the live video is normally easy. So I'm recording it so it's a bit out of this world. So I'm going to bring the camera closer for you guys to be able to see what we've just prepared, right? So if you bear with me 1 second. Okay, so that's our meal. You can see our lovely pork steak. You can see our lovely pork steak. You can see our spinach, you can see our tomatoes, and then you can see that lovely juicy sauce as well right on top of there. All right? So guys, there you go. We've actually done it. I'm really proud of us. We've actually done it, even though we've been having a little bit of a challenge. So as you can see, our dinner is served. So we have pork steak served with grilled fresh tomatoes, with some tagliatelle pasta with a sprinkle of cheese, side spinach, steamed side spinach. Yeah, I hope you've actually enjoyed that. Thank you very much. I'm very sorry about this occurrence. Keep on keeping Scotch Kitchen in your mind, because soon we are becoming bigger and better, and we're going really public, and we are looking forward for that. For now, thank you very much, and do have a lovely evening. Bye bye.